Well, as Colin said, we had a tough weekend, 3 good matches on the road at Butler, and we actually played 14 sets. The most we could have played was 15 sets, so we definitely got our money's worth out of the tournament. We started off with Cincinnati on Friday and had lost the first game, and I was just really proud of the way our kids bounced back from that first game. Cincinnati is a very good team. They do a lot of things really well, and I thought our kids did a nice job of executing what we needed to do. Turned around and played Butler. I think we had about an hour rest before we had to prepare for Butler, and the toughest part about Butler is they're a team that out of everyone that we've played or competed against this year, they probably threw the most different types of offenses, running different areas of the net, different tempos, so it was something that challenged us to prepare for, but I thought our kids did a really good job on that side, the executing of our game plan and following the hitters they were supposed to and making the commits that they were supposed to. So I was really proud of that. I think the biggest thing is just a little bit of our inconsistency in the other things that we're doing out there in the court. Played some really good volleyball in the Butler game, but then had some really some miscommunications, some things that we have to really work hard at cleaning up over the next few weeks. I think the toughest part is the run that Butler went on. We had an opportunity to finish in Game 4. We were up 22-20, and Butler scored 5 straight points to win that game. But the biggest part of that is going into that 5th game. You guys all know it's to 15 points. They continued the run and scored 5 straight points in that 5th game. So basically looking at it as a 10-point run, 10 points unanswered, and that part for us is not acceptable, and we gotta figure out ways to stop that from happening. But really proud of our kids, because being down 5-0 after letting a team score 10 straight points at the turn, we were down 8-4. But being able to bounce back and figure out a way to get it done, I was just really proud of our kids and their ability to do that against a really good Butler team. So I was excited about that and the mental toughness they showed in that situation. On Saturday, we had just one match against UIC and lost a tough 5-gamer. It was definitely a combination of UIC played some really good volleyball. In fact, they had just gotten done playing a match right before that and had lost, but was playing some really good volleyball, and they continued that on. To us being a little bit tentative, I thought out of all the matches that we've played so far this year, it was the one match that I felt we were on our heels from start to finish. And unfortunately, when you have a team that's playing well and you're back on your heels, the result is probably not going to always be on the winning side. So a tough one for us to lose. Definitely had our opportunities in that one as well. Overall for the weekend, we had some kids that I thought had some pretty standout performances. Bree Weber for us, the freshman that we've had on the outside, had 3 double-doubles in all 3 matches. That's huge. She's obviously doing things for us both offensively and defensively, so very proud of her effort. I thought Kayla and Piper in the middle did some really good things, especially we were having a little bit of our trouble connecting in the middle offensively, but I thought they worked really hard to still find a way to get kills. So proud of their effort. I thought our backcourt really stepped it up at times as well. Amy Held obviously led the way for us as the libero. So I think the biggest improvement for us needs to come in stopping the opponent's ability to go on those runs. The hard part is when we go back and evaluate film, it's not 1 or 2 things that are causing those. So as far as a strategy or a technique, there's not a lot that we can do right now on the coaching side for that part. We just have to figure out a way to get our kids to step up and not look at it as a panic thing, but more of an urgency to be able to side out. So really working hard on that side of things. Again, our side out offense has a lot to do with that, so that will be something that we'll be focused on this week. The hard part for us is this week doesn't allow a lot for practice time. As Colin said, we have a match against Iowa State on Wednesday. Our kids are pretty beat up and tired from the weekend after having so many games. So practice today will be pretty light. Practice Tuesday will be pretty light. And then we have obviously Iowa State that we're really looking forward to. If you guys remember, we've lost twice in a row to them in 5-game heartbreakers. So we're looking forward to that match in Ames. Iowa State is a very big physical team again this year. the hard part about preparing for them, they've had a lot of different kids playing. They're a team that is very deep on the bench. If they have 1 or 2 kids that aren't getting it done, they sub 1 or 2 kids right in that can do the same thing. So they've had a lot of different kids. So to prepare for them will be difficult. They run a 5-1 sometimes. They run a 6-2 other times. So we'll have our challenges to prepare, but we're really looking forward to that match. I think it's just, besides being the interstate rivalry, it's just a great match for the state of Iowa. Some really good volleyball going on in Iowa right now, and so really proud of that and excited to have this match. And then we turn around and the next day leave for Northern Illinois for a really tough tournament. We have Western Kentucky, who has been getting votes for the top 25. They knocked off Wisconsin when they were ranked 4th. We have Alabama, who was picked 2nd in the SEC, so they were picked to be actually in front of Kentucky. It was Florida, then Alabama, then Kentucky, so obviously a really good team. And then Northern Illinois, the host. I look at them as similar to us as far as their preseason schedule. They're playing a lot of ranked teams. They've played a lot of ranked teams close and have also won a few against some tough teams. So a very competitive tournament. We'll have 1 on Friday at 11 in the morning and then 2 on Saturday. So a lot to prepare for, but a little time to do that. So some of our getting better has to happen during the matches. Some of the things we need to change and work on has to be during the matches. So, but we're looking forward to it. Our kids are, I think, it gets to be in September time to prepare physically and mentally. We have to have a little bit of a break. They had Sunday off, but today I think we're going to have to be a little bit light on things just to get them ready to go for what we know is going to be a very fun and competitive week. Any questions?
Most of the players on both of these teams, UNI and Iowa State, come from Iowa. That's something that Iowa and Drake can't. So just going back to the Iowa pride of it, how big is it to have these two programs frequently playing each other, doing so well, and keeping so many of the best players in the state to play each other?
Yeah, that's one thing. And it's fun, too, to play against other Iowa kids. There's a lot of competitiveness there. Some of these kids have played with each other. Obviously, some have played against each other throughout the time. But I just think it shows on the state of Iowa and how much volleyball has grown. The high school coaches and club coaches have just done a really good job. And there's a lot of outside the state coaches, I guess is the best way to put it, coming after our Iowa kids. So anytime we can get some of those Iowa kids to stay here, obviously is what we want to do. So whether it's Iowa, Iowa State, or UNI, we want to keep those kids at home and competing.
Bobbi, I know that Iowa State lost to Iowa. What would it take to get Iowa back on your schedule and make this a true in-state rivalry again?
I think, it will happen with Bond there. I think over the years there's been a lot of different reasons why that hasn't happened, and I would like to just say that it's not because we haven't wanted to play that match. I think a big part of it is just scheduling. The Big Ten, when they've changed their conference so many times, they have very few dates that they can play out of conference now. So really trying to probably do that in a tournament is probably what's going to have to happen because of that. But I really think this year we really tried, actually, and we actually had a date, but then it ended up not working out because of our conference schedule changed with the way we're doing things. So it will be on the schedule at some point. We're hoping next year. We're already looking at that for the next 2 years for sure. All right, thank you.